Let me see you put 'em up. Reach the skies, touch the stars up above. Cause it's one time for the underdog. One time for the underdog. You got the world on your team. Even if that ain't what it seems. It's one time for the underdog.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is dessi.jay, and this is going to be some things your teacher wishes she could tell you. Okay, so a lot of rubrics are sort of like, not rubrics, a lot of grading policies are a little bit rigged. So children will look at, or parents or students in general, you'll look at the grading policy and you're like, I remember because I used to do this when I was younger, it would say like 40% projects, for like 20% tests, and like 10% homework, and like 5% class participation, or whatever it is. Now, if you're paying attention to that rubric, because like if you're a regular student and you just look at that rubric, you're like, okay, so I can do no homework for the semester and still get a 90. That's how every kid looks at every grading policy. And it's actually so wrong. Because things like essays and projects, even though they're not called homework on the policy, they'll be called homework in the classroom. So if you have an essay to write for homework, guess what? That essay is going to come out of that 40%, not out of that 10%. And a lot of people don't realize and they forget. So then you're thinking the highest grade you should get is a 90, but those essays and the projects and other things are actually not coming out of that 10% when you don't do it. When your teacher's putting the grade in, it's coming out of that 40%, which is a major chunk. And guess what? Without 40%, you got your highest grade is a 60, which is failing. In New York, it is. And if you take off that extra 10% for the homework you didn't do, it's a 50, and now it should be a failing to everyone. So that's like the number one thing. That's the number one downfall I see students make when they're looking at grading policies, and they think they can get away with so much. And then it's like a lot of the time homework and essays and things like that prepare you mentally for those exams. So you're not probably going to get 100 on the exam if you weren't doing the homework, or at least like studying, taking notes, classwork, etc., being that diligent student that you are supposed to be. I've seen kids that are a diligent student 100% of the time. That is amazing. It's not like, I would love it, but realistically, for a normal kid, maybe 80% of the time might be a little bit more manageable. Being off task if you have a bad day or whatever is not the end of the world. Okay. So the next thing I want to tell you guys is, if your teacher is on you about homework and doing the homework and turning in the homework and please guys, do your homework, make sure you do your homework, that teacher only she's doing nothing but caring about you, because it helps her not at all if you do your homework. And I say that because, think about it. If I assign a essay and I would have to grade 30 essays, now if only 20 kids do it, I then spend less of my free time grading essays. So there you go. Like, that's exactly what. Now, a lot of people think that teachers and teaching is like a cakewalk because we work 6-hour days and we have off the summer. Now, I'm just going to comment on that real quick. So, teachers, you have to lesson plan. Teaching is one of the only jobs where you have to come in, you have to do work at home and then come in prepared for your job, or else you get fired. Period. It's like one of the very few jobs. When you're working as a nurse, you don't have to do anything home. When you leave work, you're finished work. But guess what? We have to prep and we have to make sure everything's done. We have only $250 in Teacher's Choice, which is the money that the government gives us in order to buy supplies and other things like that. Then you have reluctant parents that don't necessarily want to buy supplies because they're thinking like, okay, so why can't the school buy copy paper? But literally, if you don't bring in those supplies, it's not the school that's going to pick up the tab. It's literally going to be the teacher that picks up the tab. So please bring in the supplies. Just please bring in the supplies. And we'll have to sit there. So My friend asked me one day, he asked me if, like, is grading really that bad? Grading is that bad. I am 24, so after working a long day of work and, like, you know, like, just doing everything from, like, being, because most likely your teacher wears another hat. So your teacher might do tutoring. Sometimes I always looks like. So your teacher might do tutoring in addition to being in the classroom, might be a coach of some sort, might do the after school program as well, might be helping out with the school play, might run chorus, might run this, might run that, Saturday test prep, night school. These are all different things that don't necessarily come in that time span, and you're still expected to keep up and do everything that you want to do. That you would like to do. So you still have to do things like maintain a relationship, try to maintain a social life, try to maintain your weight, try to, like, have time for your family, or God forbid you have kids, try to make time for that. And people really don't account for it in the 6-hour day. And also there is still keeping in contact with parents. If you're in charge of 90 students, that means you're also in charge of 90 parents. So 90 parents that always feel entitled to you and your time, and they'll call you, not during school hours, of course, they'll call you on that off time that you supposedly have. So it's a lot of different moving parts when it comes to being a teacher, especially if you're one of those teachers like I am who went back to school after their teaching degree, and now you're in school for pursuing higher education. So it is a lot of different moving parts. And then there are, of course, disciplinary things, like, say a kid punches another kid in the face. Now not only are you planning, and now you are creating the test and grading the test and grading the homework and calling the parents to make sure that they know that their kid is not doing homework, even though, like, how do you know your kid is not doing homework? All right, now you have to write that report, and now you have to submit that referral to the dean. Now you have to go and have that conference with the parent. Now that parent has to come up, you have to talk, and then when that parent comes up, they're like, hey, why not just kill all birds with one stone? How they're doing, let me see my child's portfolio that you had to put together in your free time as well. And all of these different moving parts and then worrying about the state test, and then kids are freaking about the state test, and then you have kids who try the day your grades are due, they'll come to you with 30 sheets of paper and they're like, here you go, and they're thinking, like, well, like, which is basically the homework for the whole year, the whole semester, they'll hand it all to you, and they're not really thinking, they're like, okay, I got it in. Now, you actually have to grade that. You do have deadlines, and for teachers, deadlines are actually serious. It's not like kids that just give it to you whenever they give it to you. The deadlines are serious. So now it's not a huge big deal. It's annoying, but it's not the biggest deal if one kid does it. If you have it, if you accept it from that one kid, you have to then accept it from the 25 others. So then all of a sudden, last minute, you're grading over 100 papers, and you have no time for a social life. You have no time to sleep. You have no time to eat healthy. You're literally one hand on KFC, the other hand with a grading pen in your, I write with my left, right. One hand grading, one hand on KFC, looking like literally playing TV so it could play in the background so you don't feel like you're going crazy and lost in the aspects of To Kill a Mockingbird. Like, it's really, 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 really frustrating, and I don't think a lot of people understand. This is coming off kind of like, that section is coming off more like a rant. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Another thing is that students sometimes will do things halfway, and what I always tell my kids is a 50 is better than a 0. Anything is better than a 0. So if you only finish half your essay and you got really stuck or whatever, submit the half. If you only finish half of an assignment, submit the half. Like, just submit the half, because half is better. It's better than a 0. So if you maybe are doing math problems, they gave you 25 math problems and you could only figure out 15 and you're really having trouble with those other 10, give it to your teacher anyway. Don't wait for whatever. Just give it to your teacher, because at the end of the semester, I've gone through kids' folders and it's half-started things, half-started. I'm like, well, if you would have gave me this half-started, I could have gave you pointers on how you could continue this. Like, I could have gave you pointers on how you deal with writer's block. because your teacher sometimes is misinterpreting the lack of work as laziness, or like that you actually just don't care. So if they see that you're trying and you're starting, I'm guarantee you teachers will bend their back over, do backflips and whatever for a kid that is trying and it just isn't getting it, rather than a kid who is not trying and wants to sort of put all the work on you and the responsibility for them passing and them being successful in life on someone else. So 100%, if you have started it, please just, if you have finished it, please just submit it. Just submit it. Like, if it's because you're stuck or maybe you don't have time, another thing. Teachers are not mind readers. We're not. We are not mind readers. If there's a problem going on at home or anything like that, tell your teacher. Even if you just give your teacher the heads up, like, listen, something's going on at home, I really don't want to talk about it or whatever, but please understand, like, that might be it. We might understand or we might pick up that something is a little wrong if, let's say, you're a 95 student, all of a sudden you're getting a 60 and there's that dramatic drop. We might come in conference with you and ask you what's going on, but then if you say no, what are we supposed to do? Like, drill you? No. So just let us know. You'll get more leniency that way. It's always good to have a parent note or something. Now, my last thing that I'll talk about is the parents. Now, I love cheerleader parents. I do love cheerleader parents. Not like my actual cheerleaders. I mean like the cheerleader parents where they just like are so supportive of their child and everything their child does, and they're great. There's a balance though. You need to be that cheerleader parent, but it's not like, oh my god, you sharpened your pencil, great. It's like, okay, we still need to do better, but don't be afraid as a parent to celebrate those little accomplishments your child does have. What I dislike are parents that they're so unsupportive to children, because there are kids that like do amazing things, like direct the whole preschool play, choreograph for like a whole show and other things like that, and sometimes those parents aren't the most supportive, and what happens then is that the child delight or drive determination starts to tone down, because if they're playing video games all day and relaxing, they're getting the same amount of attention as if they were directing a whole musical. So what happens then is that teachers really have to like link together and sort of fill that role and be that child's cheerleader, like, oh my god, no, it's amazing, oh my god, like, we really need to do that. And that's like, it's not a problem, but it's like most of the times it's not a problem, but you cannot as a parent expect that the teacher is going to fill that role. I think like fill up the parental role that is your role as a parent. So it is a little like, it's a little daunting, because no matter how much we try, we're never going to be able to fill that hole in your child's heart from the appreciation and the support that they wish you were giving them. And that's just it. Like, that's just a matter of fact. We're never going to be able to do that. So you need to make sure, like, if your child has been messing up in math or getting 50s in math, or they failed math since every report card you can remember, or maybe just this year, and all of a sudden they pull a 70, treat that 70 like as if it was a 90. Say, oh my god, you're so great. Oh my god, you're getting better. Like, acknowledge those little things. Because guess what? Not everyone is great at every subject. Yeah, I could pull a 90, 100 in ELA, but could I pull that same score in science? Not really. Math? Not really. Gym? Hell no. So make sure you celebrate those things. Don't underestimate scores. Because they got a 90 in art does not mean that it doesn't matter because it's not a major core subject. Celebrate that 90. Like, just celebrate them. Make sure they know you love them, because when they come to school and they feel broken, they're broken. And it's then like, once you're broken, you're not, or once you feel like it's no point, you're not going to be receptive to any information. So you can make sure they get to school every day and everything, but if you're not cherishing their mind and nurturing their mind at home, when we try to nurture them at school, it's like pushing a cow to water. Like, it's a long walk to water. I get it. So make sure you're doing that, and just really, really try. Because I've seen too many parents that, like, they don't try. Because I love like, when I tell you cheerleader parents, I love that parent that comes to the school play because their child was really excited about having a role in it, and they find out that their child is a rock, and they're like, yes, that's my baby. Like, that's what I love to see. I don't like to see parents who come to the play and find out their child is a rock or a minor character or, like, the henchman, or like, you can have the lead. Like, celebrate your child. Please, 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 please. Just stop and celebrate your child. And let your child know that you love them. Like, you do. I know you do. You better. So just show them. And don't think it's making them soft because, or anything like that. Just give them that love that they need. So this is going to be the closest I ever get to the 10 things your teachers wish you didn't know, because I have way too much respect for my colleagues to start unleashing the secrets, baby. But don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know down below if you've ever had an experience with a teacher or anything like teaching related, or if you're a teacher yourself and you just think I didn't mention something in the video, and let me know. Maybe I'll make a part 2 with everything you guys say and shout you guys out. And I have a subscriber that I really want to shout out today, and that is Zemeye. So I see you under a bunch of my videos. I love you to death. I see you under my Snapchat views. Like, you are awesome. You really, really are. And thank you for supporting me. It's been a year since you found my channel, and you've been one of the most consistent supporters that I've seen here on my channel. I know Shauna's probably like, wait, what? Love you too, Shauna. But I just wanted to shout you out, and it was never for you. It was never about a giveaway or anything like that made you stick around and watch my channel. Like, it was never that, because, like, you've participated in a few giveaways, not all of them, but, like, I'm not sure, but I don't think you've ever won one, and it's not, or even if you did win, like, it's not the end all be all, and I know you're genuinely here because you care, and you will comment under the most supportive little comments, and I love you for it. I do. Thank you. You're not going unnoticed. You are not going unappreciated. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys will definitely be seeing me a little bit later. Bye, guys.